we found SyncApps, and we thought that the user interface is quite straightforward. So we didn't have to read a lot of documentation about how to interact with.
Hi guys, this is John and welcome to another episode of Unfiltered. And today's video, we have our guest, Dr. Benjamin Franz, the founder and user research and UX design based in Darmstadt, Hesse, Germany for complex products and critical infrastructures from custom interaction. Hi Ben, how are you today?
Hi, I'm fine. Happy to be here.
Yeah, great to hear that, Ben. By the way, just a little bit background about the custom interactions. They are a award-winning 3D UX agency, and you would love to hear the success story and how the maximize productive using Zoho CRM and ActiveCampaign together with SyncApps. Yes, Ben, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about your company's early life and how that led you to start and build your success story working from scratch with custom interaction.
Yes, of course. So from when I was a kid, I was always interested in technology. So I enjoyed building working prototypes of several machines, and to make the technical cliché perfect. Once my parents went to a theater, and we wanted to watch a theater play together. And in this theater, there were a big stage where you could think of like a turntable where the stage could turn, and therefore on one side of the stage there could be the scene set up, and on the other side the actors could play. And suddenly during the play my parents were searching me, so I got missing somehow, and they found me under the turning stage. So I was much more interested in the technical part of turning the stage than the play itself. So I was very technical oriented, and this led, of course, to studying something technical, in my case, mechanical engineering. And during my studies, we had a lot of student projects, and we built different kind of machines. And of course, all those machines somehow had a user interface. And very often, as a young and proud engineer, I walked up to my parents or friends without a technical background, and I showed them what I built, showed them some prototype of a machine. And I found out that they had really big troubles using it. So they decided not to use it, or they gave me bad feedback. And as a young engineer, I thought they are the problem. Always complaining about my machines, so they are the problem. And I was absolutely sure about that. Of course, during studies, this happened again and again and again. And at some point, I started realizing that maybe it's not them, maybe it's me. So me as an engineer, I was not able to build machines that help people do stuff because they weren't able to interact with these machines. The user interface was too complicated. So I started to get knowledge in the area of user interface design. And despite getting better and better in this area, I found that other disciplines like psychology, for example, have a very great advantage in user interface design because psychologists are typically great with people. They decided to do something with people because they are great with people. So after my master's degree, I started working on my PhD, and I searched for an institute which was interdisciplinary together with psychologists, for example, and learned even better how to make great technology and great user interfaces that are great to use on one side, but that are also loved by people who use this. And then I thought about maybe this story, like engineers or technical background, people with technical background struggle doing user interfaces. Maybe this is not a story about me. Maybe it's a story you can find somewhere out there as well. And then we started a company, Custom Interactions, focusing on designing user interfaces and getting to know the user and doing user research. That's what we are doing now.
I see, Ben. Yeah, good to hear that one. By the way, Ben, in your industry, I know that there's a lot of competitors right now out there, but how do you stay on the line, like to be more competitive in the market? I mean, what things are you doing right now or activities to stay on the market as being competitive?
Yes. For us, it's very important that we do user testing. So our approach is not UX design alone. Our approach is, we call it data-driven UX design. So we are not able to design without talking to users first. And that's something which should be this way, but a lot of competitors coming from the design perspective, they think about users. And of course, this may work, but it works even better if you can talk to users and getting to know users and their environment and their perspective as well. So what we do, what we did since we found our company, we really focused on user interface design combined with user testing. And that's something you don't find so often compared to just designing user interfaces.
I see. So you're really unique on the market. So I think most of the clients of yours are really like your products because of this of its uniqueness. So yes, Ben. I think this is really a passion of yours, like designing something like that. So I think you did a lot of things in a short period of time. So you've got some changing perspective on UX design with building your own company. So how did that come about?
Yes. So as I already told you, as an engineer, as a technical person, I thought that user interfaces are something which drops out of development. It just is a result of the development. And something like you need to start a function or you need to start something. So let's put a button somewhere and then everything will turn out great. But after seeing users interact with user interfaces, so watching UX testing, real UX testing, I realized how wrong my thinking was and my mind changed. So one key moment in my history was I was in Darmstadt, Germany, and I was waiting at the train station for my train. And I saw an old woman trying to get a ticket out of the ticket machine. And she struggled and couldn't do it. And this was one key moment where I thought about how could people design a machine that other people can't use. This old lady was able to get a ticket her whole life, but now there's a technology blocking her out of getting something small or even stupid like a ticket. This shouldn't be a problem for persons. So, and this is one of the key moments where I started about thinking how to do great technology for people. And this was one of the moments where I realized I want to make that better. I want to help others to make great user interfaces which work and which users love.
I see. So Ben, by the way, inside your organization, how do you and your team gauge project timelines working with your clients?
Timelines are very important for us because we are a service provider. So we provide user interface design and user testing for our clients. So we don't have a product, we have services. And therefore, we are typically working in the schedules of others, the schedules of our clients. And if we fail to get our work done within the time schedule we agreed on, then our clients on their side have a problem because they won't get their product to market, for example. So we have a saying in our company, which is a time schedule is a time schedule is a time schedule, meaning that we won't change the time schedule when we agreed on the time schedule. So it's very fixed in our company. It's one of our core rules that if we agreed on a time schedule, this will be the time schedule we work on.
I see. I think that's really great to hear, Ben, because I think most of the company really value the timeline when their particular end user would really get that specific schedule because they wanted to be implemented on live on their end too. But yeah, that's great. That's a great tip to see that you have also great what you call this one a tagline there. That timeline is a timeline, right? So yeah, I think our viewer would really love to hear that one. And also, Ben, so how does automation works in your day-to-day business using Zoho CRM and ActiveCampaign?
Yes, we use Soho CRM as a typical CRM. So there are our leads, our contacts. And with Soho, we are able to do things like writing offers to our clients and so on. And this is our main contact database, I would say. This is the database where our sales team works in, where project managers plan their projects with. And so this is one of the main areas where we gather all the information. But we, of course, have other tools for different tasks. One of those tasks would be sending email newsletters. This is one task where Soho CRM is just not so great because it's not the focus of Soho CRM. And for that, we use ActiveCampaign. And if you use several tools, then you always come to the part where it's about getting data from one tool to another tool. And in this case, it's syncing contacts or leads from ActiveCampaign to Soho CRM. And one of the challenges is that on both ends, there can be changes, like we send a newsletter in ActiveCampaign and somebody decides to click on a button and we want to track that. And we then want to sync that back to the Soho CRM. And on the other side, a sales member, for example, puts in data, and then we want to have this change also in ActiveCampaign. So a typical sync process where we started searching for tools out there and we came up with SyncApps.
I see. Yeah, I see that this really plays a major role in your business, Ben. Then I think this would be the last question, Ben. How would what would be the best feature that you love in SyncApps, or that key feature that you can't live without?
Yeah, for me, it's maybe you have guessed, it's the user interface. So we tried out several different tools which could somehow sync those two. So we had the problem of, as I laid out, we had the problem we wanted to sync Soho CRM and ActiveCampaign somehow. And we tried several tools on the market, and some of them didn't sync, so they were quite useless. So they had failure in syncing or didn't sync all the data, like custom fields. This is one very important feature for us, that we are able to sync fields which we build in ActiveCampaign or build separately in Soho CRM. And a lot of those tools available on the market for syncing were not able to do personalized fields. So they were just able to sync like the name and the email address, but not every other part we wanted to sync. And the other thing we realized is that a lot of those tools are really hard to use. And as we are a UX company, a usability company, this is also something we want to have. We want to have tools which are great to use and which we want to use on a day-to-day basis, because of course we don't want to interact with bad user interfaces as well. And that's where we found SyncApps, and we thought that the user interface is quite straightforward. So we didn't have to read a lot of documentation about how to interact with something. So it was just intuitive for us. And another thing, so we have the user interface and the personalization fields, which are which we can sync. And the third part, which was really, really great and still is the support. So if you have a question, and then the support really tries to solve the problem for you. And this is quite unique. We didn't found this on any other of those tools we tried. On any other tools we get, if you reach out for support, you get something like, here's a link to our database, go find the information there and help yourself. And the support of SyncApps wasn't like that. They really helped us. If something arises we couldn't solve, they were into even programming features which we somehow searched, which we didn't find. And they were really, really straightforward in helping us to solve our problems.
Yeah, great to hear that, Ben. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I think that's our major role here in SyncApps, and we guarantee you, Ben, that when we use the product SyncApps, we make sure that everything is working. Because I'm very shocked about there's some tools in the market that it's not working, and also with the support side, I think that's our trademark here as as one of the support here team here in SyncApps. We really wanted to make sure that before they create the ticket, before the ticket will be closed, everything will be solved.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, man. Yeah, I think that's a wrap, Ben. What a great story you've shared to our viewers and subscribers here at Unfiltered. And I really enjoyed this conversation. I know our viewers would get a lot of tips on how you achieve your success and how you use automation as part of your business. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get more updates and videos like this. Cheers. Thank you, Ben.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.